Good afternoon, everyone. Everyone hear me okay? Okay. Okay, let's see. They'll probably turn it up a little bit out here. Good? Okay. Before we begin this afternoon service, if anyone has a cell phone, if you would like to take this time to turn your cell phones off or put them on silence. I see that you're filming me. We do have the service streamed on YouTube, just so you know. Oh, okay. All right. I'll let you do it. So if I can have your attention, thank you. I welcome everyone here in celebrating Chris's life. I know no one wants to be here, but it's great that you are here because your family, friends, and family and friends do that. They support each other in times like these. So we're going to play a couple songs. I'm going to give a little message. Brandy has written a eulogy for Chris, and I will be saying that as well, and then we'll dismiss, and then I have a couple announcements at the end. So at this time, we'll listen to the song it's called Heaven by Nathan Grisdall.
We miss your presence. Can't believe you're in heaven now. Knowing you was a blessing. The pain we feel, now you're in the clouds. Everything keeps on changing. All the heartache we're facing now. When the sun shines, we know you're looking down. I see your smile, I hear your voice. The times we share, can't believe you're gone. I miss the laughs, I miss the past. I'm gonna miss the love we had. Now you're an angel. Wish I could have saved you. You're in the sky right now. I can see you waving. I can see you dancing. Behind the stars you are flying. When it rains, we know it's your tears that are crying. We miss the photos. Rest in peaceful on our bedroom wall. See you every time the wind blows. You were always the bravest soul. Now our hearts keep on bleeding. Every time we hear your name. Losing you so young, life will never be the same. I see your smile, I hear your voice. The times we share, can't believe you're gone. I miss the laughs, I miss the past. I'm gonna miss the love we had. Now you're an angel. Wish I could have saved you. You're in the sky right now. I can see you waving. I can see you dancing. Behind the stars you are flying. When it rains, we know it's your tears that are crying. You were my soulmate, you were my best friend. I can't believe I won't get the chance to see you again. You were always there by my side. All the devastation that I'm trying to hide. You're so damn special. So lovely and gentle. Such a shame you lost the battle. And now you're in heaven. Now you're an angel. Wish I could have saved you. You're in the sky right now. I can see you waving. I can see you dancing. Behind the stars you are flying. When it rains, we know it's your tears that are crying. Now you're an angel. Wish I could have saved you. You're in the sky right now. I can see you waving. I can see you dancing. Behind the stars you are flying. When it rains, we know it's your tears that are crying. Tears that are crying.
just going to go off script here with my notes. I know it's tough. It's very tough for someone so young, full life, has a family. You'll get through this. As I was sitting at my laptop thinking what I wanted to say about Chris' service, I didn't know what to say, and now I know we all do not want to be here, but it's important that you're here. As I go through my message, I'll be brief because that's what I was told about Christopher. He was very, very simple and to the point. I can do simple and to the point. When I sat down with Brandy and her mom, Nancy, and Christopher's mom, I asked who would be doing the service. They didn't have anyone in mind, so I stepped up to the plate and I said, I'd do it for you. Now, I'm not a minister, I'm not a pastor, I'm a funeral director. My job is to get where you need to be and where the deceased, where they need to be. That's my job, but sometimes we gotta fill in and say some things. I've been to, lots of funerals in my 20-year career. I think I'm getting there. Brandy also said that Christopher didn't go to church. That's okay. You know, he wasn't very religious. And so I won't read prayers or anything from a book, but I will read a short little scripture verse because I think it's important. But a retired priest I know, his name's Father John DeSocio, and he's a good friend of mine. He would come and do funerals, and he would always tell families that when you sing, you are actually praying. So you just listen to that song, Heaven, so you were actually praying. You don't have to go to church to pray. When you're by yourself and thinking of Chris, it's okay to say a little prayer. When you're going out and about with your lives, you will see things, hear things, smell things that you remind you of him. Sure, you'll have those days when you will feel like you are down and out, but I guess that's how life is. But you get right back up and move forward. But know that Christopher is looking down from above and watching over you. You know, if you ever see a cardinal, does anyone know what a cardinal represents? Help me out here. Yeah. Do you know what the meaning of a card? Yeah. He's there. He's there looking down at you. So if you see a cardinal, little guys here, he's with you. Okay. Now, I said I wasn't going to do anything religious, but there's a song. It's called Turn, Turn, Turn. Now, you've probably heard it 1,000 times over the radio. It's usually on the classic channel. So there's a little scripture verse. It's called Ecclesiastes. So just listen to these words very carefully as I say them. There's an appointed time for everything, and a time for every affair under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot the plant, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to be far from embraces, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. So I realize that all we can do is be happy, and do the best we can while we are still alive. All of us should eat and drink and enjoy what we have worked for. It's God's gift. I know that everything God does will last forever. You can't add anything to it or take anything away from it. And one thing God does is to make us stand in awe of him. Whatever happens or can happen has already happened before. God makes the same thing happen again and again. Randy wrote this little eulogy on Chris, and she did a very wonderful job. Some things, when we sit down with families, we don't get the whole picture of someone's life. We ask basic questions, but this is where kind of like where the family shines. I look up and I see these pictures, and I trolled his Facebook page too, and the first thing I saw was this big truck, and it was full of mud, and then there's trucks, four-wheelers. Chris's life was full of love and laughter. He was the person everyone knew that would always joke around to make you happy, to make you laugh, or at least put a smile on your face. Chris was a very hard worker, and he loved to help people. He was the type to work all day long and still willing to help anyone in need. Chris had many hobbies that he loved, working on his tractors and his four-wheelers, so he could take a ride out in the field. He would love to go out and play in the mud with them and his truck when he got the chance. Chris loved to work on little projects out in his shed, in his own little space. He also loved taking rides out to find random seasonal roads just for fun. He loved scrapping to make a little extra cash. Chris was a wonderful son, and he loved his parents very much. He would do anything for them. Chris was an amazing father to his two daughters, Brianna and Olivia. He loved them with all his heart, and he was very protective over them. He always made sure that they always had everything that they needed and was happy. Chris, he loved his wife. When I was looking at his Facebook page, he had all these little poems. He might not have said them in his own words, but he got the point across that he loved you a lot, Brandy. I can definitely tell that. He was so happy to finally have married her in 2020 after being together with her over 17 years. That day was one of the many that he was very proud of. Chris always made sure his family was well cared for and wouldn't let them go without something they needed. Chris had many good memories with her, with everyone, and cared for all that was part of his life. Chris will be missed very much. I know he will be. Just by looking at all the people that came and support the family. Now, I'm going to open the microphone up to anyone that would like to come forward. If they would like to say a brief little story. And when I say brief, Chris always kept things brief and simple and to the point. So, if you can do that, I'll let anyone like to come on up. Come on up, Mrs. Bremer.
Chris wrote this to me a while ago, and it says, On a positive note, I've learned that no matter what happens and how bad it seems today, does go on, and it will be better tomorrow. I've learned that you can tell a lot about a person by the way he sees, he knows his things. A rainy day, lost luggage, and tangled Christmas lights. I've learned, regardless of your relationship with your parents, you miss them when they're gone from your life. I've learned that life sometimes gives you a second chance. That you shouldn't go through life with a catcher's mitt on both hands. You need to be able to throw something back. I've learned that if you pursue happiness, elude you, but if you focus on your family, your friends, and the needs of others, you're working, doing the very best you can. Happiness will find you. I learned that whenever I decide something with an open heart, I usually will make the right decision. I've learned that.
Take it easy, now take your time.
I learned that even when I have pains, I don't have to be one. Okay.
Where are you at? Right here.
I learned that every day you should reach out and touch someone. People love that human touch, holding hands, a warm hug, or just a friendly pat on the back. I've learned that I still have a lot to learn. I learned that you should pass this on to someone you care about. I just did. Sometimes they just need something to make them smile. No, people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but will never forget how you made them feel. And Chris wrote that to me a while ago in school. Thank you. And thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Now bear with me, I'm not good with speeches. But we are all here today because of this amazing man has touched our hearts in all sorts of ways. As a son to Kevin and Brenda Starkweather, as a father to Olivia and Brianna Starkweather, and as a husband to Brandy Starkweather, and as a brother, cousin, nephew, uncle, in-law, and friend to many, many people. I think everyone here can agree that Chris was an amazing man. He was the man that we could all turn to when we didn't know what to do, because if he didn't know, he'd figure it out. He always did everything he could for the ones he loved and would never expect anything in return. I'm grateful for this amazing man to be a part of my life. He's seen me grow into the man I am today. He taught me so much growing up, I couldn't imagine a better role model to grow up with. I think all of us here have millions of memories with this amazing man. We could spend days telling our stories about Chris, and another thing we can agree on is he was taken too soon. If we knew he'd be taken soon, we would cherish our time just a little more and give him a hug and tell him we love him one last time. But one thing I always say at funerals, I give this speech, and I gave it the same speech to my grandmother. Don't be afraid, or don't be full of regret of what we didn't do, but remember and cherish how he made us feel and all the amazing memories we have with him. Although life won't be the same without him, we can all love and appreciate the time he was with us. Now, I think all of us here can all agree that we wish we could tell him we love him one last time. And that's what I want us all to do right now. And on 3, I want us all to say, "We love you, Chris," so he can hear us up there in heaven. 1, 2, 3. We love you, Chris.
Okay, bear with me. Stop the crying. I can't handle that. Okay, Chris not only protected Brandy, Brianna, and Olivia, he protected everyone close to him. I remember riding the 4-wheeler and hitting the fence, and we laughed because we thought we were going to get hit in the head. Then me and Chris ended up in a car accident, and just to look on that poor kid's face, with me halfway on the floor, and we got out, we talked to the police, we hopped back in the truck, and I looked at him, I go, "Come on, let's go." He knew I was as crazy as he was. That was a good part about him. And then going to the fair, we would go on the flying bobs, and we would get that rocking so fast and get yelled at. I'm going to mess it, all those rights. And you were an awesome son-in-law.
Anyone else?
My name is Christina. I've known Brandy for like 25 years. I want to say about, maybe it was 2002 or 2003, on February 14th, her and Chris met. And they've been together ever since. And I'm just so, happy that they met, because if they hadn't have met, they would have never had 2 beautiful children, and it just, I really don't know what else to say. I'm just, you're my best friend, Brandy, and I really love you very much. Chris was a really good person. He really was. I remember when I'd come over and visit you guys, and he'd answer the door and go, "What do you want, tuna?" I mean, I have to make, it was how he answered the door, because he would really open the door and say that. And I would laugh, and he'd make me laugh and he was just a funny guy. He would really be a nice person. He was always funny and knew how to make people laugh. He did. He was a really good person. He knew any way, if it wasn't one thing to make somebody laugh, he would find some way to make somebody laugh in any way he could, He was a really nice guy. I'll miss him dearly, trust me. I really do. Thank you. But yeah.
Randy, I remember the first day you brought Chris into Grandma's house. Okay? That poor kid. We had a family dinner just to get to meet Chris and, check him out, as they say. and your two aunts hijacked him with 20 questions. I felt so sorry for that kid because I'm looking, and of course I'm laughing because my sisters are going after him, not me. And that poor kid, he was sweating bullets with 20 questions. Matter of fact, when Brandy, you know, in our family, if you're in our family, whether you're, you know, you're married or not, you make it through so many years, now you're family. Okay? So I always called Chris my nephew. Okay? But the day they got married, I was so happy for you guys. And I even told Chris, I said, okay. I said, I know I've always called you nephew. Now it's official. He had a terrific smile, honey. Don't ever lose that smile. You can tell, you know. But yes. And I even told him the one day that I love you like you're my own. That's the way I treat all my nieces and nephews. Part of me, I will help protect them. I will help in any way I can. Okay?
You're the best uncle ever.
I know we all have our memories and stories of Chris, and I'm just going to make this announcement now. All are invited to the Horseheads Moose Lodge in Horseheads. That's right down the street from Pudgy's. Just go over the railroad tracks, and there it's on your right-hand side. So, and you go downstairs to the Moose Club there. So continue sharing those stories, and as you can continue in sharing those stories will live on the little guys here, and Brianna and Olivia, and that's how you keep the spirit alive. You just tell those stories. 20 years from now, someone will come and tell those stories, and they'll probably hear about it 20 times, but that's how you keep someone's spirit alive. In closing, I'm going to read a poem. It's called Afterglow, and then we'll have another song. I like a memory of me to be a happy one. I like to leave an afterglow of smiles when life is done. I like to leave an echo whispering softly down the ways of happy times and laughing times and bright and sunny days. I like the tears of those who grieve to dry before the sun, of happy memories that I leave when life is done. Our final song is Dancing in the Sky by Danny and Lizzie.
Tell me, what does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fears and your pain gone away? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky. since you arrived. I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I'll bet it's some nights up in heaven since you arrived, since you arrived.